Like, do we
Yeah.
still give them the same level of love, care, respect, and dignity that they deserve?
Mm-hmm.
Or do we resist them and refuse them and demand that they fit into, our expectations of how they should be?
Yeah.
So how much of a cultural change is too much? What is acceptable? What is not
Mm-hmm.
acceptable? And how far will we go to protect those things? I think these
Yeah.
are questions that I saw that pop up many times in when I left Nigeria
Mm-hmm.
for school in the States and then for work in Canada. It could be something as simple as growing out a beard. There was this interesting talk I had with my mom when I first
Mm-hmm.
started growing my beard, where she was like, Vincent, why do you have a beard? It's not a very professional look. And this little fight that we had over what's appropriate hair should look like.
When did she say this?
This was my first year in university. Uh,
Maybe then she really didn't realize that the trend had changed. This was it. For those of us who've been here nearly 3 decades, it's a different, we've gone through the transitions of
yeah,
claiming our blackness, our
right.
natural hair, and all those things. The fight started way longer
Yeah,
than I got here. But there was a trend when you stepped in, was that the facial hair was not shaven.
right.
In fact, when you see a nice black man with a very nice, trim, that it looks like chocolate. Okay, I comment my reserve, or I
Yeah,
reserve my comment.
yeah.
Yes.
But it's this one thing where when my son was in Nigeria, he looked this way, and now that he's been in America for 3 months, he looks a certain different way. So is the culture already
Ah.
in him? And so it can be something as small and basically harmless as hair, and it can be something
Mm,
as big and earth-shattering as sexuality.
mm-hmm,
So in Kayode's story specifically, I wanted to explore that sort of big earth-shattering side of it, and how a very loving mother
mm-hmm,
could react to that change. How do you balance the love you have for your son against your immense, like deep-rooted disapproval of
mm-hmm.
who they are or what they're doing? And I thought that was a very like interesting thing to explore in a story.
uh, Bobrisky should have gone to United States.
Yeah, Bobrisky is, he's in prison right now.
Yes.
Um, and it's unfortunate though, but it's also interesting because it raises a question about if we can trigger those kind of cultural changes within the country itself, or if it will always be contentious.
It will be contentious. And the reason why it is going to be contentious, and
Nigeria. So one of the points that I think Americana or Kayode was trying to make in My Americana, that story, was that the nature of his sexual orientation to him felt established even before he left um, Nigeria.
Nigeria.
Yeah, so there is an element to it that um, maybe the acceptance of it is
Mm-hmm,
sort of foreign
mm-hmm,
to our culture as of today,
mm-hmm,
but the existence of it,
mm-hmm.
arguably has always been there.
Yeah. Well, you're right.
Did he soak it in with boundless joy,
Mm-hmm,
or perhaps a deep anxiety, fearful that something would change someday, that a collective knowing would settle in their hearts, and their well of exuberant exultations would dry up? Kai Kenechukwu from Ma's lips, Alhamdulillah from Musa's, when he and Ekene counted the day's mega gains. Praise be at St. Mary's Catholic Church, homily, Holy Communion, a dozen testimonies before Reverend Ejike's final words. Professions from newlyweds, from teenage mothers cradling frayed and weeping bundles, from passers of higher institution entrance exams, from the newest Reverend Sisters of the Oro Igwe Convent. Chief Ojukwu went last, a towering man who slow walked toward the altar in his abada, overflowing at the shoulders and the ankles, followed by his entourage of gospel swaying bodyguards, their hands bearing silent praises, cartons of indomie, baskets filled with garden eggs, jangling car keys to new pastoral fleets, money turned to goods turned to him because he replenishes threefold. Do you not see the proof in chief? And in the bygone days of Divine Love Primary School, before Ma and Pa had decided it cost too much, there had been morning assemblies full of children's songs under the canopy. What can I say? Since I was born, joy, joy, joy. Lift him up. Everybody blow your trumpet. Lowered knees and lowered heads everywhere, all the time, all eyes closed, except for Ekenes. He studied the faces around him, so steadfast and serious, vibrating intensely. Even the faces of students who stabbed juniors with sharpened pencils and stole cash from the purses of distracted teachers. What a person he had to be sung to all the time, praised endlessly for merely existing, worshipped even on that scorching road. Abuloma, with its endless hawkers and throbbing feet, its buckets of gala meat balanced on tiny heads, its black smoking cars, their radios blaring that he was the Most High, Ancient of Days, Unchangeable Changer, I am that I am, Alpha and Omega, the beginning and the end, the lily of the valley. Ekene had never seen lilies in valleys, but he had seen both lilies and valleys separately, and he couldn't surmise how their combination amounted to infinite power. More perplexing now were those folks behind steering wheels who bobbed along to their radio tunes, white rosaries dangling in front of them, and how they turned their heads, or wrinkled their noses, or wound their windows up when Boniface's mother staggered toward them. How sometimes, before looking away, they turned a dial in their car and the song's volume increased, loud enough to make out the lyrics in crystal clarity. All his blessings my parents cannot offer. All his blessings my teacher cannot offer. All his blessings even my president cannot offer.